Hello, this is Mr. Stokes, and I thought I'd give you an example of how ROTE works. So when you're writing an answer at A level, you need to be able to show the examiner you can consider many different aspects and different points of view in your answer. So ROTE is a really good way of trying to fit as many things in and considerations that might affect that business, such as what resources they have. Does your answer or consequence affect your objectives? What is the time scale? Is it a short-term or a long-term benefit or a consequence? And are there any external influences we need to consider when answering this question? So I've used this one as an example. Other than on the level of annual partner bonus, evaluate the impact of the rising costs mentioned in extract B on John Lewis partnership decision making. So in the first sentence I talk about the three costs that are affecting John Lewis from the case study, which is the pension costs, rising financial costs and the costs relating to extra warehouse storage. So I'm going to take you through this answer pretty quickly, and I've highlighted which bits are where. The first thing is, to counter the issue, JLP could shop around for cheaper interest rates on loans and overdrafts, and to some extent warehouse storage costs, as this would lower the costs in the long term. Now, I could have put a simple full stop after this would lower the costs, which is true, but we need to talk about whether that consequence is a short-term or long-term effect. And as you can see throughout this, I've put timescale in whenever I can when I'm talking about a consequence or an effect on a business, because it shows that you can work out the time frame or the time span of when these effects could happen. Secondly, here I talk about if they pay for the loans, there's going to have an opportunity cost, because once you pay for something, you can't spend it on something else if you use cash. And so rather than just leave it at that sentence, I've chucked in their objective, which in the case study mentions that they want to open new stores in Leeds. So therefore, if they're using cash to pay off loans, they might not have enough cash to fund the opening of the new stores in Leeds. There, we've linked a consequence to an objective rather than just a very simple full stop. They can't spend it on anything else. Finally, if they do pay off loans, well, not finally, sorry, if they do pay off loans, then they have to have the cash in the first place. That's a resource, isn't it? Do they have the cash in order to pay off the loans? There we talk about the timescale again. And the last one I want to talk about, because I'll let you read this yourself, I think it's self-explanatory, is consumer buying habits. So if they buy a warehouse, for instance, and then consumer habits change, then that warehouse they paid for, upright with resources they have or don't have, may not be full. And they may be stuck with a massive warehouse and not be able to fill it. And so therefore I've talked about an external influence which may affect their decision on how they deal with these rising costs. Again, I've put an objective here, how any of these things could affect objectives. And it's a fairly straightforward way and demonstration of how you can use ROTE in an answer to try and flesh out your answers and show the examiner you've considered other effects to other areas of the business. Thank you.